We were talking about
saying?
what masculinity is,
Yeah.
and the death of it.
Yeah. Which is kind of mad that we're leading on to that after saying that there's too much masculinity around Valentine's.
So right. It's crazy, but it's something that I keep hearing. I watched the Winners Talking podcast.
Yes.
With Pound Sterling and Big Dog.
Masculine shit. Shout them man out, man.
Masculine shit, yeah. And Don Strapsy, Drew Blue was on there with Big G, the goalkeeper from SE Dons, and they're doing big things in the YouTube football space. But they were on there talking about how, and I guess pushing the point that masculinity is now frowned upon.
That's from their very first episodes where they started talking. That's where the masculine shit. Yeah. But then they brought it back on that, and yes.
What do you think?
I can see what they're saying though. Like
I
these days,
what's the question?
Is masculinity frowned upon?
Masculinity is frowned upon.
Like now, we often hear the phrase toxic masculinity, innit?
Yeah, you rarely hear
just masculinity.
Whereas before, toxic masculinity traits might have just been being a man.
That's what we thought was
15, 20 years ago or whatever.
I think the idea of what a man or even a woman is almost like what's the meaning of life kind of question.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really truly knows the answer. But with this toxic masculinity stuff, I think there are some traits. I don't know if they seem to actually be more, they seem to definitely be more masculine. But perhaps they're just more toxic, if that makes sense anyway. Like, I don't know if it's innately man, it's just a toxic trait. And I think there is, some of that stuff needs addressing. But I don't think masculinity in itself is a bad thing. I'm against that.
Yeah, I feel like it's changed, man, over time.
Masculinity?
Yeah. And being able to like embrace it and whatnot. But I do understand that toxic masculinity.
What's toxic?
It's probably like male dominance and like talking down on women. Like one of the things I see a lot in different groups is like the emergence of women in football. So whether that be a female commentator, a female pundit, female officials, there's always like shit jokes attached to it. And like, I think stuff like that is dumb because like football shouldn't be the preserve of like men just because it was dominated by men. So little things like that, like which is just like, that's just shit. I think toxic masculinity is like resorting to violence and all that stuff. But then
always having to be tough. Don't cry. Never cry. All of that. Man up.
It's necessary though. So for instance, when I don't know, an example I can think of is these quote unquote terrorist attacks, whatever.
You said this before, Dan. You gave us
whatever. When that stuff happens, you need a masculine figure who you do turn to. You turn to the tall, strong man, the guy that runs in and doesn't worry about it, or some nonsense on a plane. Someone's acting up. Who do they talk to? They always ask the large guy to come and help and whatnot. So you don't really want to take that out of society because traditionally like masculinity is linked to protection and stuff. I don't think you want to go too far the other way.
I think that what needs to be addressed is not like the extinction of these so-called toxic masculine traits. I think it's more an awareness thing. Like if you're going to be that toxic guy, let it be by your own choice, if that makes sense. Like, you see, like with you're around different people. If I'm with the man, I'm not the same person I am with my girl, for example. It's just I'm just not. I'm definitely more toxic with the man then. But like you have different modes in different scenarios if you're around different people. And as Dan says, there's a time and a place where man might have to be aggressive. There's a time and a place where me being aggressive or hard or stern or unsympathetic, typically male characteristics, or when they're talking about toxic masculinity, there's a time and a place where I shouldn't be that. If I'm with my nephew and he's crying about something, I don't think I'm supposed to be that guy at that moment. And I think it's more an awareness of who you need to be and when is more important, and understanding it's somewhat toxic as well is more important than so-called eradicating it. Just know when to be
expert for that.
Yeah, and I'd agree. I think man's argument is it's that, we're encouraging to like bring out not your softer side, but you can't show emotion as a man, innit? Which is that's fine.
It's the word soft that gets everyone in trouble.
Yeah. So that's why just you can show your emotion or whatever.
Yeah.
I think people are like taking it like too far, or that's what it appears to be, and that's why people are saying that's why there's like a lack of masculinity out there.
I don't agree with that.
Me neither, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Did they give? Because you always hear the
no, that's not like what they were saying.
Okay, I think you always see the example of, it's always older people talking about back in the day. Men used to be men, and it was like what? Because man were fighting all the time on nights out, and like, we used to like rob and steal and do like, and like that doesn't necessarily make you a man. But to Richard's point, I agree. I don't think masculinity has gone anywhere, to be honest.
I think it's just being addressed in a way that it's never been addressed before, which I think is a good thing. I think that's totally a good thing, but I don't think it's going anywhere either. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think if anything, men are going to probably be more like somewhat toxic because as a response to it.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan, and I feel like he is a good example of like a stable man. Like he's a man who I've heard him cry on the podcast. I've heard him talk about all kinds of emotions when this happened. I felt this. I hear him like tear up in certain scenarios. But at the same time, he pumps iron. He does martial arts. He tells jokes for a living. Like he's definitely like
hunts, all of that
a
shit.
man. Like, and I think in general we just need better balance, man. It's a balance.
That's kind of where I was going, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't be. I think that's in life, though. You just can't be too much of.
Yeah, you can't take away the masculine traits.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to show your emotion.
That's why I'm interested to when people say, "Has it gone anywhere?" Or like men used to be men. What are they doing now that they weren't doing? That they weren't doing then, or what are they not doing now that they were doing then? Like what's like I said, because man weren't fighting on nights out and all this barbaric shit. Like Rich said, and you said, Dan, there's a time and a place for all. If someone's getting into something, sometimes then you have to fight, or you got to defend, or you have to like stand up and be tall and sort of command the situation. But if man are just saying, we used to knock man out on nights out and break windows and smash cars and like tell the police like fuck off, like all of that,
attack people.
That doesn't. And then we used to laugh at that. That to me,
that's just negative energy. Like
that does. It makes that you're a madman if that's what you're on and that made you men. Like I don't think that's valid enough. That's just crazy.
That men used to be men is a weird one because that comes from women, isn't it? Like I guess it comes from like what we've been talking about. Male
I guess it plays a part, man. It plays a big part in what women want or think they want, or you're told that women want. And if that's what a lot of this is about, isn't it? It's people playing up the different stereotypes or models that they think they should follow in order to secure X or Y. So I feel like if you ask them what do you want, do you want to protect her? They're not gonna say like no. Like so, I think desire and what women desire definitely plays some part.
Oh, definitely. I think that's why
men are dancing to that tune, and I guess there's also things that are innate within you. But that definitely plays a part. the wanting to be desired or finding a mate and that stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I think that definitely
100%. Like I feel like at school and stuff, it was like the girls wanted the rude boy, innit? Like,
yeah.
the toxic man. Like, they wanted the most toxic male.
The guy that answers back,
attention all the time.
The guy that might have a couple different girls here and there. Like, that is.
Them man that used to sit in the class with a jacket on and backpack on, like the whole time.
With the hood. I think it plays a little bit of a part. But yeah, I guess what you lot said was right, especially things around showing emotion and whatnot. Because what is it, 75%? I think I can't remember the year. 75% of all suicides were like male. So there is an issue there, I think, in terms of expressing emotion and whatnot.
I think that's what people get at when they say men aren't men anymore. Masculinity is going. It's the showing of emotion. A man, like I guess, like Rich said, out of your girl or the person you probably be the most closest to, the most likely you'll share stuff with. Yeah. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying, "Oh, like I feel a bit shit," or like this has pissed me off, or I'm bare annoyed, or whoever you choose to tell. Like, when you get those things off your chest instead of it being in your head, and then you end up going on nights out and smashing stuff. It's just taking care of your mental makeup. Just making sure that
well-being, man.
Yeah, you're not holding everything in. Man, not saying, "Oh, cry every single time something bad happens," or if that's how you deal with it, then do your thing. But yeah, I think it's the emotion side. That's why man say men aren't men anymore, or masculinity is disappearing, or it's gone, or it's going away.
Yeah, I think I've said this before. I feel like the idea of masculinity I think it's proper damaging on men. I think it's often overlooked how damaging it can be on men. For a long time, I've said that, like, as a man, there's only like 2 moments I feel like you're allowed to cry in life, like, and that's like birth and death. Anything else, don't want to hear it. Which is mad, because there's
which shouldn't be the case.
Other
emotions and things that might trigger you or whatever. But that's the idea of masculinity, which is mental.
Random one, But what was it? Yorkie?
Yeah,
chocolate bar. What were they thinking, fam?
For men, bro.
That's
That's still about.
Like, not for women and all of that. Like,
they knew what they were doing.
Is that still like their slogan?
The slogan. It can't be the
slogan.
slogan.
Can't be not today.
It can't be now, innit?
I think
That's kind of mad.
But it was a masculine chocolate, innit? It was about being hard, bro. Are you keeping some stiff chocolate, bro?
It's about being like big.
Fam, they were.
Can you conquer this
even like
chocolate?
Snickers. I think Snickers
Get some nuts.
Play with it a little bit.
Yeah.
That tagline, "Get some nuts."
You're not a man when you're angry or some shit like that, or whatever.
Like, but it's like the alternative is someone that's like, I guess, throwing a hissy fit and like panicking, and but then when you take a bite, it's always a man on the other end, and they're like, everything's cool.
Steadfast.
Yeah, it's a mad one.
It's a balancing act, bro.